Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Colorado Avalanche franchise mode. So in last episode, we took on the San Jose Sharks in the second round of playoffs, and we managed to oust them within 5 games. And now we're up here in the conference finals against a young team in the Sweden Super Swedes. Their entire defensive core is made up of guys that are 22 and younger, so I'm kind of impressed with how their future looks. But right now, I don't know if their offense is capable of doing really much. Like Pavel Rosa, who was their leading point man, had 80 points during the regular season. So if we could shut him down and we could somehow manage to solve Hedberg, who's been pretty lights out for them, I think we should be able to move on to the Cup Finals for the second straight season. So let's see what happens here. Game number 1 at the McNichols Sports Arena. Let's just get some W's, guys, like what we've been doing so far. First period, and it is 1-1. Nico Kapanen opening the scoring, and Forsberg, the Swede, scores, so that is cool. 1-1 after the first period. Shots are 15-13. And then also, I wanted to mention quickly, I forgot almost, we did actually play the Sweden Super Swedes once in the playoffs before, and that was way back in, I think it was the first round. Yeah, I think it was the first round, like multiple years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago. So we did actually play Sweden before, but their lineup is pretty much different than it was back in those days. So yeah, anyways, second period, and it is 3-1 Sweden. Did not see that coming. Nico Kapanen picks up a second goal in that second period, and then Pavel Rosa, who I said to shut down, makes it 3-1. Not looking good. Shots are 23-20 in favor of us, or not in favor of us, in favor of Sweden. Come on, boys. We need to have some answer here in the third. It's not looking good right now. There you go. Selvin pulls us within 1. We need 1 more to tie it up, guys. We should not be able to lose to Sweden. Oh, Tate Cook makes it 4-2. I might make some line changes if we lose this game, just because we shouldn't be losing against a team like this, especially with that many goals. Holy crap. Oh my god. Yo, did you just see what I just witnessed? Holy shit. Okay, so Hyvenin made it a 5-2 game. But with 2 minutes left, Watts scores, and I'm like, okay. And then just quickly right after that, 1:05 left, Forsberg making it a, what is it, a 5-4 game. And I'm like, shit, this is a 1-goal game all of a sudden. 42 seconds left. Forbes scores. So Hedberg has literally just dropped the ball in the final 2 minutes, even though with 3 minutes left, it was a 5-2 game. Damn, will we win it in overtime now? That would be huge. That would be the best comeback in playoff history, I think. And yes, we do. Holy crap, guys. We might have just witnessed some history there. Hayduk making it a 6-5 game, and we win it in overtime. That was the most insane hockey I've just seen in my life. Wow, what a comeback in game number 1. Hopefully we can still win this series in general, because their offense just showed up randomly out of nowhere. So as you can see, at that one point, it was a 5-2 game. Forsberg had our only goal at that point from Drury and Starwick, and then Sullivan had one from Hayduk and Drury, but it was a 5-2 lead. Watt scores from Zadorov and Ozolinsh, and then right after that, less than a minute later, Forsberg pulling us within 1 from Bullis and Forbes. And then a late goal from Forbes ties the game up from McBain and Bullis. So the third line coming up with a big goal there, bringing it to OT. And then the second line finishes the game. So in general, our top line scored 2 times. Our second line scored twice. And then our third line scored multiple as well, or 1 goal. And then Watt on the fourth line scored. So every single line, I think, contributed in that win. Damn, that was insane. Kapanen still gets first star. Forsberg the second star. I almost said Forbes. And Rosa gets the third star. But holy shit, what a game. Damn, our offense better continue this next game, because if they just dry up all of a sudden, that will make it kind of depressing. But that was an insane game. Okay, take a deep breath. Game number 2. Let's get our offense continuing to going, because it's been hot. 5 goals in the last 2 periods, technically. Come on, boys. First period of game 2, and we're down 3-0. Okay, we need another comeback here, boys, because that is not something you do again. Murray, Berglund, and Berglund. I might still change up the lines for next game, like defensively, because we've been pretty bad so far in this series, especially considering we're on home ice. Second period, and it's still 3-0. Not looking good unless we could have a third period comeback again, which is highly unlikely, because I don't think they'd give up 3 goals in the third again. But yeah, I think I'm going to change up the defensive pairings a bit, just because, yeah, we've let in now 8 goals in our last 2 games. Yeah, they've outscored us actually in these first 2 games, and there's a late goal from Sakic to break the shutout, but it is a loss 3-1 as we head back to Sweden. Yeah, I'm going to change up the defensive core a bit, play around with those lines, see if we could get some chemistry going, and we could play better defensively, because just we have not been doing that this series, which is uncharacteristic of us because we've been good in the first 2 rounds. So, let's move Darmore up and then put Strudwick. Yeah, put Strudwick down here. Actually, wait a sec. You know what? We're going to put up the future top pairing, which is the lineup I wanted to put before, which is Darmore and Strudwick together. We'll put those guys together. Ozolinsh down to the second pairing. He'll play with Aaron Miller and then McBain and Dandino. Yeah, I think that's good. Let me actually take a look at the penalty kill unit just in case it was the penalty kill doing that bad. Are these guys minus anybody? No, it doesn't look like it. Nope. Well, this is actually a +6, so that's pretty good. Okay, so we'll leave it like that. So just did a little shuffle with the defensive core. Hopefully that makes us play better defensively, considering we're now in Sweden. They scored somehow 8 goals on our home ice, and we only scored 7. So yeah, let's continue to play great offensively, but let's kind of keep down the goals against a bit. First period, and it is scoreless, so I'm liking that a lot better than last game, obviously, and the first game too. Shots are 17-6 in favor of not San Jose, the Sweden Super Swedes. Goddamn tongue twister. Second period, holy crap! What an offense appeared for us. 5-1. Samuelsson making it 1-0 for Sweden, but then again we have a 5-goal period out of nowhere, or 4-goal period, multiple goal period. Fleury makes it 1-1. Drury makes it 2-1. Sakic makes it 3-1. And then Drury gets 2 more. So Drury with a hat trick in the second period. Damn, that second line is actually producing now. So we should have this in the bag, unless Sweden has something like what we had in game number 1. 5-2 now as Pettersson scores. Power play for them, and they don't score, and now they score 5-3. I'm kind of getting nervous a bit now. Penalty kill. Nicely done. Just lock it down, guys. Lock it down. And we are going to do just that, and we win 5-3. So that game was still not a good defensive game, but we managed to come through with the victory. So I guess I'm okay with that, as long as we could kind of clean that up a bit going forward. So Fleury from Miller and Zadorov, Drury from Sullivan and Hayduk, Sakic from Forsberg and Fleury, Drury from Darmore and Waugh, and Drury from Miller. So a great period from Drury there is the difference maker in that game. Drury the first star, Fleury the second star, and Miller the third. Okay, so we have a 2-1 series lead with a nice victory in Sweden. Hopefully we could take a 3-1 series lead headed home. That would be the hope, at least. All of a sudden, Chris Drury is also leading us in points with 15 points in 14 games, so he's definitely turned it on a lot. So here we go. Game number 4. Can we take a 3-1 series lead headed home? First period, and it's 1-1. Okay, I'll take that. Our former player, Stefan Yell, opens the scoring, and Colin Forbes ties it up for us. He had that big goal in game number 1. Second period, and it's 2-1 Sweden, and it's Yell again. Come on, Yell, don't be a douche to us. Third period, come on, boys. Let's tie this up. We have the offensive capability, and Rosa makes it 3-1. They've been scoring 3 goals in every single game so far. I'm not liking that. Power play for us, we don't score on it. Time is winding down here. 4-1. Pedersen scores. We get another goal late. They make it 4-2. Sean Donovan, but Bordelot makes it 5-2. And yeah, our goaltending is really horrific right now. I don't know if it's because Patrick Waugh is getting up there in age or not, but he has just been dropping the ball. And then Stefan Yell picking up 4 points against us. Yikes. Yeah, I might put in Carter for the next game. Maybe just give Patrick Waugh kind of like some breather, because he is an old man at this point. And he has been pretty bad this round, like letting in 3 goals a game. Like, I don't know if it's our defensive core or not, because we're scoring goals too. We do have some minus players though, which is not a good sign. McBain's a -6, so yeah, that's not good. See, our loss of foot is now starting to hurt us a bit. And yeah, Carter's 0-2 technically, because he's played... Yeah, he's been coming in recovery role for Patrick Waugh multiple times. Yeah, Wall's got a 2.82 goals against average, which is not good. So yeah, I'm going to take out Patrick Waugh for this game. Just give him a chance to kind of recollect his thoughts a bit. And besides, I have faith in this youngster Ross Carter after his great regular season. As you can see, he had a .931 save percentage. He had 3 shutouts in 21 games as well, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, I'm going to give Carter a chance. Because Patrick Waugh, yeah, .897 save percentage. Yeah, he's kind of dropping the ball a lot. Like, he's probably not going to be the type of goalie to win a Conn Smythe in this playoffs if we win the Stanley Cup. So, this is a big game for Carter. It is a tie series, I think, right? I almost forgot where we were at. Yeah, it's a tie... Wait, no... Yeah, it's a tie series. Yeah, it's a tie series. We could be technically down 3-1 if it wasn't for that amazing first game. So, Carter, hopefully you could do this. I know it's a lot of pressure for your 21-year-old, but... Let's see if we could take the 3-2 series lead with you in net. First period, and it's scoreless, so good first period for Carter. 15 saves. But we don't have any goals yet, which is kind of concerning. Hopefully our offense could show up here in the second period, and still scoreless. Ugh. I don't like these tight games, really. Shots are 24-17 in favor of the Swedes. Come on, boys. Do this for Ross Carter. And do it for Patrick Waugh, who's sitting on the bench. And did this game just freeze? No, it didn't. Okay. I thought it froze for a second. I'm like, shit. Penalty kill. It's a long penalty kill. Come on, guys, kill us off. What is the thing at? There you go. I had to make sure it was at 8 times simulation because it looked like it was at 2 times. Maybe that's why I felt like it'd take forever. And Espen Knutson scores. God damn it. We're losing 1-0 right now. Come on, guys, let's tie this up here. This is a critical game. Ross Carter's been doing all he can to keep us in this game. And we are going to lose that game 1-0. 46 saves from Ross Carter, but he lets in only 1 goal, and we lose the game because of that. God damn. So we are down 3-2 in the series, even though Ross Carter just played like... This guy's definitely going to be the starter next year because I think Patrick Waugh is going to retire after how bad he's played in the playoffs. But yeah, we'll go back to Patrick Waugh for this game. Hopefully Patrick Waugh plays like Patrick Waugh in this game, like actual Patrick Waugh. Like, he starts to play lights out pretty much. Let's just make sure he's in net still. Even though Ross Carter did just come off a really great game. Like, he's got a .985 save percentage in the 3 games he's played, but he's lost all 3 of them. So... yeah, Patrick, come on, you can do this. I know you're 38, but you got to get us just 1 win here to force a Game 7, and then hopefully you can get us a Game 7 victory as well. If you lose this game, then our season's done with. And it will be Sweden in the Stanley Cup Finals, which is really weird, against Washington. So this is a real-time simulation game since it's an elimination game. Come on, boys. We need our offense to show up. Maybe I should have changed the lines up a bit. Maybe Bolus makes it 1-0 for us, so that's a great start. Getting a goal. Jan Bolus actually played with the Caps when we picked him up, so he might actually get the faces for our team. In Milan Hajduk making it 2-0. That's huge. And Sakic with a goal with 6 seconds left. We have a 3-0 lead after 1. Let's just keep it rolling, boys. We're going to need this type of performance next game as well if it's going to go to another game. because there's still a possibility for the Swedes to come back. And Sakic makes it 4-0, so maybe not. Penalty kill, nice. Final 5 minutes of the second period. Penalty kill again, and it is nothing going into the third. So we are a period away from forcing a game 7. Hopefully Patrick Waugh could still play good like this game. Like, he is bouncing back for sure. But yeah, it's just going to be pretty intense coming on home ice as well. So hopefully that home ice advantage plays a factor in game 7. And the time's winding down, and they break our shutout, Pettersson. But we are going to take game 6 by a score of 4-1, and we are going to a 7th game. So we've been to every single situation so far in this playoffs. Game 5, a game 6, and a game 7. We have yet to sweep a series, which is not really surprising considering how tough this playoffs have been. But yeah, maybe we'll sweep the Stanley Cup Finals if we get there. So here we go, game 7, conference finals. It doesn't really get much better than this other than the Stanley Cup Finals. Let's see if we're moving on. Real-time simulation again. Patrick Waugh is going to be in net again, so hopefully he can continue to do what he just did last game. And Theo Fleury, who has not really scored much actually in this playoffs, makes it 1-0, and he scores another one right there. Couldn't have asked for a better start on home ice. Theo is also getting close to retirement probably. Stefan Yell, the former Av, makes it a 2-1 game. And it is going to stay 2-1 after 1. Okay, guys, let's get a third goal here, please, because it is too tight. Shots are 11-11, and it's a 1-goal game. Second period underway. Come on, boys. There you go, Steve Sullivan. Let's go. 3-1 game. Final 10 minutes of the second period, and Forbes makes it 4-1. Let's go. That is a huge goal to give us the 3-goal advantage. Sakic makes it 5-1. We're starting to find our game again. After a struggle, 6-1 Watt scores. Damn, we scored a lot of goals in this series despite some losses. Like, technically we would have lost that series last game, or this series last game, if we wouldn't have won that big first game that we had. Like, that game was just one that technically we should have lost, but we didn't, and now we're up 7-1 in game 7. Like, I'm hoping this continues, obviously, in the Stanley Cup Finals, but good job offense. So Rem Murray makes it a 7-2 game, but there's no way they're going to come back. Final 3 minutes, penalty kill, and we are off to the Stanley Cup Finals for the second straight season with a 7-2 victory on home ice. The fans going wild in Colorado. So Fleury from Forsberg, Fleury from Sakic and Forsberg, Sullivan from Drury and Hayduk, Forbes from Bullis and Strudwick, Sakic from Forsberg and Strudwick, Watt from Strudwick and Zadorov, and Watt from Strudwick. So Strudwick had 4 assists on the last 4 goals in that game. Damn. Yeah, that youngster is going to be really good. So Strudwick gets first star with 4 assists, no hits. So this guy is not physical at all. Watt gets second star, 2 goals. Fleury, the third star, 2 goals. So yeah, Watt's also been really good still for offense. Like, every series he's stepped it up. So Sakic currently leading 18 points in 18 games, and we're off to the finals against the Washington Capitals, which is pretty interesting. Considering the Washington Capitals in real life at this point in time would have been a bottom team. Like, yeah, actually 2003-04, they would have been drafting Ovechkin at the draft. But this time around, they're just somehow in the Stanley Cup Finals. So let's take a look at the player stats before we look at who Washington has. Okay, so Sakic 18 points, 18 games. Drury 17 points, 18 games. Forsberg 15. Hayduk 14 points, Fleury 14 points, Watt 12 points, Sullivan and Zadorov 11, Bullis, Strudwick 10 points, Donovan, Forbes 9 points, and then it drops off a lot. Culp with 5 points, Ozolinsh with 5 points, McBain with 4 points, and Miller as well with 4 points, Darmour with 3, Dandino with 2. So yeah, our entire team is still producing pretty good. hopefully we could clean up our defensive play in the Stanley Cup Finals. Patrick Wall actually changed his goals against a lot with that victory, or those last 2 victories. 12-5 with 1 shutout at 903 save percentage and a 2.66 goals against average. And then Ross Carter's, he's 0-3 in the playoffs, but 985 save percentage and a .52 goals against average. He stopped 66 of 67 shots in those, 1 full game, and then 2 games where he didn't, he came in a recovery role. So everything is looking good. As long as we could play better defensively in the Stanley Cup Finals, I think we have a shot of winning our cup, especially after last year's disappointment. So let's take a look at who the Caps have in their lineup. I'm not sure if they've made any huge changes to their team or not. So Washington. So Richard Zednik, Alexander Dag. Interesting. So Dag's going for a cup. And Peter Bondra. So Peter Bondra's still there. He's probably getting closer to retirement. Maybe not. Braden Sloan, former 13th overall pick. Craig Conroy and Martin Perulik. Interesting. Third line, Brad May with Pierce Farfadet and Nolan Foote. So Nolan Foote's going up against his dad's team, but he won't get to face his dad because his dad is out with an injury still for the rest of the playoffs. Then Jody Hull on the 4th line with Casey Mays. So you got 2 Mays, even though Brad May is the real guy, and Casey May was drafted 18th overall. Also Zach Gallant on the 4th line. Defensively, Sergei Gonchar and Kyle McLaren. That's a pretty good young top pairing. Well, actually, Gonchar's up there in age now. Ralph Salcido, who was drafted 16th overall, with Alexiev, and then Felkovsky with Svedberg. Okay. Goalie-wise, they got Kolzig and Yerky Nurmi. Okay. And then scratch, they got Robert Cron, Kenneth Rasmussen, and they're currently out without a medium elite young guy in Olli Tuominen. So that's good that they don't have Tuominen, because then this team would be even more scary. I think Jody Hull would be at the lineup at that point. So yeah, I'm glad that they have an injury, but I'm kind of scared of their team to an extent. I know we have the upper hand being more experienced than they do, but you never know. So actually, let's take a look quickly before we end this episode at the injury report. I just want to see how long that Tuominen guy's out for. Yeah, Foote's out for still another 12 days, so he could be back for Game 7 if this goes to his 7th game, which I don't know if it will. Let's take a look at Tuominen's injury. He's out till May the 27th, so he'll actually be back for... He would be back for a Game 6, I think, so he might be out for the rest of this round as well. So both teams battling with some injuries, and they're both going to battle for the Stanley Cup in next episode. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.